Welcome to the Plant Seed Podcast. We got a great episode for you today. Appreciate you for giving us a listen. What's going on? Hope you're having a great day. Hope the vibes are good. Episode is coming at you on a Monday. Hello, happy Monday, happy new week. We didn't record last week. There was some illnesses, so we didn't go for it. And that's okay. I think we did like 10 weeks in a row or some shit like that. And we're, hey, still getting buckets. Anyway, hope everyone is having a great time. Make sure you are liking, subscribing, sharing. We're on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube. We are all over the place, my people. So make sure to check us out. Make sure you're checking out previous episodes. We have some fun episodes on there about some states. We got some movie stuff, got some football stuff. It's all there. So make sure you check it out. Appreciate you for checking out that good stuff. I think this will be the last episode before the holidays, barring anything spectacular happening. And just going forward, I think the way that it'll probably work is I'm not quite sure how I want to do next week's podcast, because 24th is the Sunday, and so there's football on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day is that Monday. So maybe we record something on the 26th or the 27th. I will also be traveling, so it'll be a little hard. Anyway, there will more than likely be a podcast before the new year. That is what I will say. Anyway, I'm going to get going. I'm babbling too much. Let's get into it. Pierce, take it away.
No problem. I still got Plan C. Ladies and gentlemen.
And we're back. Hello to everyone listening. As the title and the intro mentioned, we are talking about the AFC. So I am, as always, besides last week, due to illness, joined by AJ. AJ, what's going on, man?
What is going on, Colin? What's going on?
Not much, man. The Saints got a win. They are keeping my hope alive, which I'm not sure is healthy for me, but you know what? We're the 8th seed, gonna go on Thursday Night Football against the Rams in an opportunity to get the 7th seed, and I'm excited. By the way, did you know that the Cowboys clinched playoffs already? And so did the Eagles?
It did. Yeah,
Fucking
before
crazy,
the games
man.
before the games even happened, no.
Fucking bananas.
It's
How was your football week, by the way?
my football week was pretty good.
Nice.
My bets were kind of ass. They got destroyed. All of my parlays. But
I had one bet and I lost it this week.
Did you do the anytime touchdown score?
I did not. I emotionally hedged on the Saints because I legitimately thought they would lose.
So you're happy either way, though, right? That's why you do it.
I don't know if I'm happy, but yeah, sure.
No, I mean that happened. I have at minimum, I think I'm going to win 3 out of my 4 fantasy football league playoffs.
Nice.
I have a good chance to win the 4th. It's literally going to come down to I'm up by 1 point. He has Kenneth Walker and I have Dallas Goedert. So it's really going to come down to it.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And most importantly, the Colts won on Saturday. Kind of threw my Sunday off. But it really kind of fucked up my week. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm sure your Sunday was pretty chill though.
It was, but I
kind of
felt
like having that
do.
W and you're just kind of swaggering around like, yeah,
It's
no matter what
stress-free.
happens, we're great.
Well, I don't know because I mean, partially true, right? But at the same time, I mean, I was still keeping my eye on almost all of these games. So, like you kind of mentioned, the AFC right now, stark contrast, complete 100% opposite of what the NFC looks like. So you're talking about the Saints barely getting back to 500. fighting for the potential 7th seed this coming Thursday. The AFC is there's such a log jam of teams right there in the middle. Not even the middle, towards the top too. It's a complete mess. We have 3 weeks left, and it's going to come down to it. So it's exciting.
It's definitely crazy, and I mean, granted, I think every year kind of we get recency bias, but this year it really feels like with the AFC specifically that it's like, whoa, this is completely fucking up for grabs. There is no team. I mean, the Ravens are, I would say, maybe the best balanced team, but beyond that, there is no team that is out ahead of the pack kind of like the 49ers, so it's crazy. All like literally 1 through 7 in the AFC can and probably will all change in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, there's a chance, minus maybe Kansas City, and they still kind of look like shit. I know they won today somewhat decisively, but they still kind of don't look right.
Yeah, Rishi
Every
Rice
other
cooked, unfortunately. I'm going against him
so
in
did,
fantasy.
so did Kadarius Toney, cooked in a different way, but he cooked.
That drop was terrible.
Yeah, I haven't seen a player make Mahomes act out like that
We've never
ever.
no,
I don't think.
we have literally never seen that. Congratulations, Kadarius Toney. You have unlocked a new Patrick Mahomes.
Which is, typically, if it was like Brady, right? When you see Brady go to the sidelines and he was always getting pissed and yelling at everybody, Josh McDaniels, Bill O'Brien, just yelling at everybody. That you were gonna get like a pissed off Tom Brady. I think he even talked about it in the offseason. It seems a little different from Mahomes. Like it's starting to get, in my opinion, it's starting to bother me a little bit. It's very coming off very whiny. Obviously, him and Andy Reid were fined for the comments they made last week. For a team that gets more calls than any other team in the NFL, probably that go their way. I'm not loving the complaining and bitching that's been happening, but other than Kansas City, we very well could have a different division leader come playoff time. And there's only 3 weeks of the season left. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. 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 No, it's crazy. So as the standings are right now, the Ravens are number 1. And they are 11-3. Dolphins are 10-4, number 2. Chiefs 9-5. They have the tiebreaker over the Dolphins. Jaguars 4, 8-6. Browns 9-5 at 5. Colts 8-6 at 6, and Texans 8-6 at 7.
And
In the
and I sorry, I totally cut you off.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, in the hunt, you have the Bengals and Bills both at 8-6, but because of tiebreakers, they are below. We have the Steelers and Broncos at 7-7. Those both are very. You can still get in with that. And then I'm not sure I would count the Raiders and the Titans, but
No, Titans officially got eliminated today.
they're actually officially eliminated. Oh, I guess so,
Yeah,
because with the tiebreakers against Colts and Texans. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I feel bad for the Titans. I like the Titans. I think they're half
I
decent.
I don't at all, and I think this is gonna. I mean, it's gonna bring up some questions about Mike Vrabel, in my opinion. If I'm actually not mistaken, I believe the Bengals currently sit at the 6th seed, and then the bubble are the Texans and the Bills.
I was looking on Bleacher Report, so they may not have updated. So let me see what like NFL.
Because I know it's off a conference record, and see, this is we're gonna get into all the weird little nitty gritty things, conference records, then head to head, because it's so tight. But if I'm not mistaken, the Browns should be 5, and either the Colts or the Bengals are 6. But those are the 3 wild card spots right now.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so the Bengals are in. I'm sorry, and the Texans are out. I'm so sorry. I was wrong about that.
But again,
Um,
I even
yeah.
recall you go look online right now on the NFL on NFL.com, and I don't even think that's right because it goes off of conference standings, and the Colts have a better conference standing than or conference record, excuse me, than the Bengals. But again, it's literally gonna come down to all
This
those
is
weird
this is gonna
little
happen the
things.
entire way down the tube. It's gonna
Yeah.
come down to the last week. It is.
So, what teams are standing out? I mean, it's all interesting. What do you want? Where do you want to start?
Man, I think they're not in the playoffs right now, but I think we do need to talk about the Bills.
Okay.
I think this has been a really weird season for the Bills, like a really weird season, but they have also played a decent amount of really good teams. Um, you have the Chiefs, the Eagles, the fucking, the Bengals, the Dolphins. If depending on how you feel about the Jets are on that list. The Cowboys, they beat the shit out of the Cowboys today. Um, the Bills right now, it feels like the Bills are one of those teams that it's the team that the other teams don't want to make the playoffs. Um, they they are figuring it out on defense. When earlier in the season, they lost Matt Milano, and it really sort of felt like the tires were coming off, especially they lost to Denver late. And yeah, so the Bills are that classic team where you're like, oh God, if they get in, like, it's really fucked. They have
See,
so much talent on the offensive side of the ball. Cook is I mean, he seems to be slotted in to that running back position. It finally seems like they have it figured out. Um, they're on a roll. They have a pretty fucking easy schedule down the stretch. And I mean, if you do the thing where you look at the standings and you look at the quarterbacks, you're like, oh, geez, Josh Allen is only behind who's the Browning and whoever the Texans are trotting out right now because CJ Stroud is injured and Gardner Minshew and Joe fucking Flacco. Like, ooh, this seems like a really dangerous team. And not only that, this team can still fucking win the division. They need a little help. They do need a little help, but they can absolutely still win the division. They are two losses back. The Dolphins, the Dolphins. I mean, shit. You look at the Dolphins' last 3 games; it's not looking good. You Cowboys
yeah.
at home, at the Ravens, home against the Bills. You're telling me that team is going to go 3-0 against these teams? Okay. Anyway, it seems like the Bills are really figuring it out on defense, and I have always felt that the offense is I mean, there are like macro problems with the offense, but I'm sorry, there are micro problems with the offense, but the macro problems with the Bills are on defense. And when you see the defense start to step up like they did today against a playoff caliber team like the fucking Cowboys, that is when you have to start to worry. Um so what's your take on the Bills? I like rambled there
Yeah.
for like 5 minutes.
Not yeah that you rambled. Yeah, okay, so I'm not as impressed with the Bills, to be 100% honest with you. I still have a lot of questions about them. Yes, they ran through the Cowboys today, but that was not a healthy Cowboys team. And I know you really can't put that on anything, but the Cowboys, they're 10 players and coaches and staff members that were questionable because they were dealing with some stomach sickness. Stomach bug was going around. It hit almost everybody in that building. Malik Cooker was out. That was a very beat up, not healthy.
Shout out to the former coach.
Shout out. Man, that one still hurts. I still think we should have waited out on him. Regardless, not a healthy team. Okay. So Josh Allen only threw 94 yards today. Some people are saying that that's pretty impressive that they put up 31 points with him doing that. I'm not impressed. I know they're coming off a big win, like you said, two really good teams that they just built, beat, excuse me, Dallas and Kansas City last week. But I mean, we talked about it recently that Kansas City has their issues.
Yeah.
So, and that
Beat a
game even
decent
came down
Pats
to it.
defense today.
Yes, they did. They did. Dak was horrible, horrendous today. Only 134 yards and a pick. And Dallas's ground game still continues to not go. But
Oh, I meant the Chiefs,
regardless,
but yeah.
oh, excuse me. But yeah, they're playing Bailey fucking Zappi though. No disrespect.
Yeah.
um, but my point is, I'm still not super sold on the Bills. The Bills are on the outside looking in. I do think they have
Hmm.
a shot at the division though.
Right.
Miami's got to get it figured out. Granted, they didn't have Tyreek Hill today. Was no issue whatsoever. So they could still get.
No, they
I mean,
kicked the shit out of the
they were
Jets.
without a couple of starters on defense too in the secondary,
Yeah.
especially. But I mean, again,
They even
if you're
brought out
gonna have
Mike White at the end because Tua just pieced him up so well. Only 3 incompletions from Tua
yeah,
today.
beautiful deep ball to Jalen Waddle. I mean, they don't have Tyreek Hill, and they're still on top of it. But regardless, so the Buffalo, I'm still not there yet. That team is gonna ride with. Well, I was gonna say they ride with Josh Allen, but they didn't today, did they?
No, they didn't. They just
So,
they cooked without him.
so that's difficult. The teams in front of them, I think they have a good chance of jumping up. Again, they are one of those teams you don't want to play in the playoffs, especially when it's cold. Not that they're going to be playing any games in Buffalo, but still, it'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting. But I am more interested in the teams that are in front of them.
Hmm. Talk to me, man. What you got?
All three, I mean, all four of the teams that are sitting right there in front of them: Jacksonville, Indy, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. I'm interested to see how things play out for different reasons. The fact that those teams are all sitting in front of Buffalo with the circumstances they're all riding with,
Hmm.
impressive. Um, obviously, I'm a huge indie guy, so obviously I'm gonna ride with them more. But
6 seed right
it
now. Very nice. Very nice.
yes, and they're coming off a huge win. Pittsburgh is not a good football team, but regardless, they were both 7-6. Colts have had a losing record.
But Pittsburgh is
So
always going to be one of those games that because of Tomlin, like you'll always be fucking worried because
yeah,
suddenly like TJ Watt has like a fumble recovery and 2.5 sacks. And yeah, no. I
yeah.
I I don't know. I think that win is bigger than you think. And going down the stretch, the
No,
Colts schedule is pretty favorable.
I'm stoked about it. Indy plays Atlanta next week, who's coming off just an absolute
Shout out to the
dog
Falcons.
shit.
Shout out to the Falcons for reminding everyone who they are.
Horrible, horrible performance. They lost in front of a crowd of like 5,000 people, maybe less. Where tickets were $3. Some tickets were 45 cents, and they still couldn't fill that stadium.
I know we're talking about the AFC, but can I give you a Falcons thing real quick?
Give it to me.
Okay. Bijan Robinson, how many rush attempts do you think he had?
Oh, I saw the stat. It was a 7 or 10.
It's 7. 7
7.
7
Yeah.
7 attempts for 11 yards. Tyler
And a pick.
Algier, 14. Leading receiver on the Falcons, Kyle Pitts, 3 yards for 37. Jonnu
Jeez.
Smith had 2 yards for 61. Drake
Mhm.
London, 3 targets. Bijan Robinson, 3 targets, 1 reception for 3 yards. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
not looking pretty. Not
not
looking
not
good.
great. I mean, I as somebody who is in the NFC South and has experienced this before, there is sometimes just a weird fucking like Southern voodoo game where the really bad AFC or NFC South team just gets up and beats somebody. And I as a Saints fan, I've been there before, so I feel you, Falcons fans. But in the moment, since you are Falcons fans, I laugh at you
Fuck
because you
you.
fucking lost to the trash ass Panthers. We swept the Panthers. We can't cry about that. But y'all lost to the Panthers.
Yeah,
Sucks.
that just looks
Anyway,
bad on the rest of the division. It brings them down.
back to the
So
AFC.
favorable matchup for Indy next week. Then they play Las Vegas, and then they're gonna have a Week 18 matchup against Houston. That's gonna be
That
a
might
very
be
good
for the
chance.
division.
Very good chance that that could be the case, depending on how the season plays out, and it could be flexed to Sunday night. Maybe it should be.
Like
We'll see.
right now, as things stand. Oh no, wait. I guess the Jaguars are technically in the lead because they have the tiebreaker of the Colts. But again, it is still shit is close in the AFC South, folks. This is not the AFC South of 2 years ago.
No, no. Even Houston today winning, and they're not playing. They didn't play a good Tennessee team, right? But
And that they
anytime it's a
almost
divisional
fucking
game,
tied. They almost
yeah,
tied.
yeah. Shout out to Kayami Fairbairn. It was an interesting game. They played Case Keenum. I have no idea why. I texted you during that game. I said, "Why the fuck is Houston playing Case Keenum and not Davis Mills, who's arguably one of the top backups in the NFL?"
Mr.
In my
Long Neck
opinion,
himself.
maybe could be starting. Could start in a couple places. I don't know why they went with Case Keenum. I think it was the I don't know.
He'd start
The
on the
fact that he's been
Patriots.
there.
Davis Mills would start on the Patriots. He
He
might
would
also
start
start on the
on the
Raiders.
Jets.
He would start on the Steelers. He would start on the Jets.
He's
Maybe he would start on the Bengals. I don't know. He would certainly start on the Browns.
the
Anyway,
Browns. Two teams that you just talked about that I'd like to kind of shift to. So both Houston and Indy, I'm impressed with what they're doing. Rookie head coaches, backup QBs today. I like what they're doing. It's gonna be a very good game, Week 18. But Cincinnati, what
yeah.
they're doing, I think, is very, very impressive as well. And I do think Jake Browning is that good. I really do. I don't think it's a fluke. I think it's very impressive that he was able to step in minus Jamar Chase to finish that game on Saturday and come in and win. I think it is very, very impressive. And they're not wasting any of their offensive skill positions, which I think people are going to be worried. Like this team was built with Joe Burrow in mind, obviously, had Super Bowl aspirations. They lose that guy, they're like, shit, we're going to lose probably Joe Mixon's final year of his prime. I'm going to waste T. Higgins on his last year of his contract. Going to waste one of Jamar Chase's prime rookie contract years. But no, that team, I mean, Jake Browning has stepped in and he's been, in my opinion, last 3 weeks, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Well, yeah,
Here's
he's been cooking.
He's been fantastic. Not even just good for a backup. I think he's just been good in general. So, despite them being, if they would have lost to Minnesota on Saturday, it would have been very good for the Colts' chances to make the playoffs. I was excited, man. I like watching good football and I like watching them play. I really do.
It's an
What?
it's an interesting team because you know you lose Joe Burrow and you're like, oh well, GG's, season's over. But I don't know. They've hung around. Trey Hendrickson continues to get buckets from the defensive line, and Browning has done enough. I mean, I know that he has really good wide receivers, and people like to shit talk Joe Burrow by using, oh, his wide receivers are so good, and he's always had good wide receivers. That's why. But like, shit, man, that is still a good football team. I don't care what anyone says. It's gonna be a lot to knock them out. I think if there's any team to get knocked out, it's probably gonna be the Browns, simply because they have Joe Flacco as their quarterback, and
Whoa. You
there's
serious?
I mean this thing has got to come back to earth. This thing
What thing?
we've seen it with Danny DeVito. We've seen it with Josh Dobbs. Joe Flacco, like there is not a bigger fan of Flacco mania than myself.
I don't know, man. You're sounding like a little bit of a hater right now. What are you talking
I
about? A Look,
I don't want to call myself a hater, but shit, if I have to say that, like, man, maybe I don't believe in Joe Flacco in the fucking playoffs in fucking 2023. You know, if that makes me a hater, that makes me a hater.
Okay. That's
But I
fair.
don't know. It's really it's fucking crazy to see that. And if, like, you know, you do the thing where you look at the teams in the AFC and you're like, okay, which quarterback is gonna make it? Like, okay, Lamar, okay, 1, that's fine. Dolphins at 2, Tua, yep, that's fine. Chiefs at 3, Mahomes, yep, cool. Jaguars 4, Lawrence, yep, fine. And then you get to the Browns and you're like, Joe Flacco
Wasn't even on the team last month.
was sitting
on
on his
no team
couch last month.
You know,
Man
I
was
think
chilling
I
in the
think Colin,
DMV, chilling.
I think you're forgetting we're talking about a Super Bowl MVP here. All right, my guy.
If
Gotta show him a
okay,
little bit of respect.
just quick hypothetical here. If Joe Flacco, God fucking forbid, leads the Browns to a Super Bowl, is he in the Hall of Fame?
If he leads them to a Super Bowl,
He has to be, right? He has to be.
I think that there'd be an argument. I mean, now it kind of depends on the class that you're coming up with, because you have full-on stars who are not even making it first ballot anymore these days. So it really kind of just depends. He would for sure have a fucking argument, though. That's, I mean, no doubt. Right? Could we finally agree that Joe Flacco is elite if he does that?
Joe Flacco has only had 1 season where he passed over 4,000 yards. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I mean, we could do that for a couple people who are in the Hall of Fame.
If they're quarterbacks before 2000, I'm okay with it.
Okay. I think
Anyway,
it's impressive, right? Because
I
been good.
do not
They've been
let my
good all year.
skepticism take away from the fact that this is genuinely very impressive. That Joe Flacco has been able to get off of his fucking couch and just go play ball. Please do not mix that.
Well, it's impressive for a couple reasons. Because, earlier in the season, the Browns have been good all season, right? But they've been good because of their defense, and they were winning games in spite of their quarterback, in spite of Deshaun Watson, right? He was doing nothing to really contribute to those wins early in the season. And now you have a guy who comes in who I was skeptical of him even getting signed, because I thought PJ Walker did enough in his time that he should have warranted at least getting to, get a chance to ride out the season. But regardless, the fact that Joe Flacco is actually coming in and like winning games, I like to see it, man. I like to see it. I'm happy for it.
I think it's good for the NFL.
It's entertaining as hell, for sure.
It makes for such good content. It's like this is going to be a really, really weird analogy, but just stick with me. It's kind of similar to, like, how George Santos is going on fucking Z-Way. And, like, George Santos has kind of been, like, completely yassified. It's like, yeah, this isn't a great human, but god damn it if they don't make some fucking great content, you know?
Okay.
It Joe Flacco, it's like, he's not a great quarterback, but, like, god damn it if it's not fun having him in there.
Well, he was just so bad with his last few stints after Baltimore. So that's what makes it even more surprising that he's not playing horrible.
Last season with the Jets was so bad.
His Jet stints, his Broncos stints, his Eagles stints. I don't know if he really played much in Philly, but off the top of my head. But no, it just kind of makes you laugh even more with now that the Jets are going through all their issues. Like, this is a guy you had in your
You had
this
him
guy
in the
your
locker
building.
room.
Yeah.
Like, how many like, it's so crazy because it feels like there's only truly one bad team in the NFL and the AFC. It's weird because it feels like in the NFC there are so many more bad teams. There are like some truly skunk teams in the NFC, but in the
That are going to make the
AFC,
playoffs.
like the AFC is frisky top to bottom minus the Patriots. You know, like the Jets beat the Eagles not too long ago. Everyone
Yeah,
forgets about that.
that's true.
Yeah.
The Broncos are coming back. They lost. They lost this weekend. They got walked by the
Oh, they
Lions.
got doo-dooed on.
But I mean, they're only 2 games back from the division lead as well. Nah, they're not gonna catch
I
the
think they missed
KC.
their opportunity to get the
They
division
did.
because the Chiefs schedule down the stretch is a cakewalk.
They did. And with them losing and all these other AFC teams winning this week with Buffalo and Indy and Houston, it's gonna make it hard for Denver.
Yeah.
I think they pretty much closed the door. But
Yeah,
no,
no, I
you're right.
agree.
There's one more team that's sitting at that 8-6 record that I want to talk about too. That's currently the 4 seed.
Okay, let's get
As
into
soon
it.
as soon as we started winning, or excuse me, as soon as we started recording, they just lost.
Yeah, they lost to
Jacksonville
they got
Jaguars.
killed by the Ravens tonight.
I also think they look like shit right now. I don't think they're playing good football, and I think
I
they
mean,
should be worried.
shit, man, they've lost 3 in a row and they haven't been like they haven't been losses where you're like, "Oh, no, that's excusable," or "That was close enough, they'll be fine." It's been like, no, they've gotten their shit kicked in,
To,
whether it was the 49ers 34-3, fucking uh Bengals, Browns, Raven, like their losses are not great.
I agree. I agree. And they just, again, it's very, very poor game or poor showing, I should say, against Baltimore. Yes, that's a top seed in the AFC, but the team that's right behind you, Indianapolis, may I remind you, Indianapolis beat Baltimore earlier this season. So, you know, with Indy and Houston right on your tails for them to go out and like they've had prime opportunities. I mean, with them losing last, like they're just not they're not coming up to it. They're not living up or going up to where they should be. Not seizing the opportunity. And maybe I am a petty, you know, rival fan.
Mhm.
I have been very, very unimpressed with Trevor Lawrence this year. I don't think
It's
he has taken that step.
it's been a weird season for Trevor. Because you think that second year under Doug Peterson, you're like, okay, he's gonna get better, blah blah blah. But Doug Peterson isn't even calling the plays. So if you talk to Jaguars fans, they'll say like, oh no, our offensive coordinator, blah blah, this and the third. Um, so it's interesting because you want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I don't.
I'm talking I'm sort of from a neutral perspective.
Not
Um
me, Colin.
but it's kind of tough. There's some stuff now that's like floating around there that it's I don't know.
Let me, he took a leap. Yeah, okay, he was horrible as a rookie, right? Anybody would have been.
Well, that I mean,
It's
I
great.
think that needs to be excused because of Urban Meyer.
Fair, fair. Last year, he was getting praise as taking that leap. I mean, statistically, it wasn't even an amazing season. Okay, let's be totally honest here. Yes, the team played much much better, but he did not take a huge step. Okay, he was being heralded as one of the top 5, top 3 quarterbacks in a lot of people's rankings, but I don't. I mean, I don't think he's there. I know, he's not there. Look at his season this year, floundering opportunities left and right, and still statistically, his team got so much better. They picked up Calvin Ridley for goddamn sake. You know what I mean? And his numbers are just not. I don't think they're there. I don't think they're what this number 1 overall top quarterback in the NFL should be.
Yeah, he's only passed for 300 yards once this season.
Only 18 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's only
And
had 3 touchdowns once this season, and that was against the Browns last week. So yeah, I mean, shit, man, not a good look. I guess I hadn't looked at that because, for me, I'm not watching a ton of Jaguars games. I'll look at some of the stats, I'll look at the team total stats, but I'm not looking at that specifically. But damn, yeah,
18 touchdowns,
he's
16 turnovers,
yeah, not great.
18 passing. He might have a couple rushing touchdowns, so give him a couple
10
there.
interceptions on the season, not great.
But I think we talked about it. They have their upcoming schedules not horrible.
Is Trevor Lawrence bad?
I don't think Trevor Lawrence is amazing. We'll say that.
He's never had more than 25 touchdowns in a season.
Fucking exactly, dude. And he was
Huh.
everyone was kind of dick right.
Trevor Lawrence, you're on watch, buddy. You're on fucking watch.
Put in CJ Beathard, dude. They should have fucking rolled with him when they had a
DJ
chance.
hard.
No, nothing's gonna happen. They're gonna stick with Trevor. But right? I mean, is that
No, there's no
right?
there is
That's a
there
fair
is
assessment,
there is
right?
there is no way they bench Trevor. There's no
No.
way they bench Trevor.
And
There's no
he'll
way.
get a huge record-breaking extension this offseason.
No, it won't be record breaking. You can't give him a record breaking extension at this point.
I promise you it will be. Anytime a young
No,
quarterback
you
who's had moderate
can't.
success they one up each other. That's just how it is.
Who else is in that draft class?
As a historic draft class, Justin Herbert already got paid.
He already got
Tua
paid.
has yet to get paid.
Tua's gonna get a bag.
Yes. Well, I don't really know what their cap situation looks like, but yeah, it's a great class. And look at the other guys, Justin Herbert, I guess. You know what? No. Hold on. That is a total lie. I'm lying to you, Colin. That's not the right draft class. I'm a fucking liar and a half. That's the Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones draft class. I apologize greatly.
So Zach Wilson, bust. Trey Lance, bust.
Yeah, it changes things.
Wow. Wait, is this? I mean, I don't. At this point, I don't think anyone will have the nuts to call Trevor Lawrence a bust. But like, if it never gets better, in my opinion, that's a bust. So when's the last time we had the top 3 quarterbacks taken all fucking busts?
I feel stupid that I even grouped him in with those other guys. But what's funny is at the time, a lot of people, myself included, thought it was one of the best quarterback draft classes ever.
Is Justin Fields the best quarterback of that class?
Justin Fields might not even be with the team at the end of this year, dude.
I know. What the shit?
Funny to look back at things, isn't it?
That's so fucking weird.
But, I don't know. He's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid.
I don't doubt that he's gonna get a big fucking bag, but I don't know if it'll be like record breaking. Wow, this quarterback draft is actually really shit. I'm literally scrolling through now and I'm like, wow, this is not good.
Who's the best rookie from that class? Is it Davis Mills? Outside of
out of all the quarterbacks? Out of all the quarterbacks, I would probably say that Mac Jones had the best rookie season. Because we forget that Mac Jones had a good rookie season.
Pro Bowler, no?
He was a Pro Bowler. But yeah, no, it's not looking good. So just quarterbacks in 2021: Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, fucking Justin Fields, Mac Jones, and then we move on to round 2, and then oh wait, is there any? No, there's one quarterback drafted in round 2. Yeah, that's right. Kyle Trask was drafted in round 2.
Oh shit.
And then you go Kellen Mond, Davis Mills. Yikes. So, however you feel about that. And then I think that's the end of the 3rd round for quarterbacks. But that just goes to show that, like, god damn, there were some not good fucking quarterbacks in this draft. And It's all a crapshoot, ladies and gentlemen. That's all it is.
So did I turn you? Do you think Trevor Lawrence is not? Can we at least say he's underperforming big time right now?
I think I definitely feel differently about Trevor Lawrence because I hadn't looked at the stats for the season, but like the fact it's actually really surprising that the Jaguars are fucking 8-6. They're 8-6 right now.
Yes.
Now that they lost, it's a little surprising that the Jags are 8-6 looking at Trevor Lawrence's numbers. Just saying.
That's a testament to Doug Peterson right there. So, Colin, yeah, it's a crapshoot, dude. What do you? I mean, we got 3 weeks left. Some very interesting games. How do you think this unfolds? I'd like your predictions on 1 through 8.
Okay,
1
so
through
I think the
7.
Ravens. I think the Ravens are gonna make the 1 seed. I think their schedule's
Okay.
too easy. They have a game on the Dolphins. It's their conference record is going to be very similar as is their division record. It's going to be hard for the Ravens to fuck this up. Now, when we get to the rest of the division winners, I think it's going to get a little sus. I think the Chiefs will probably get the 2 seed just based off of the Dolphins' schedule. Dolphins' schedule is a nightmare. Dolphins will probably get the 3 seed. I think that, you don't hate me because this is the all-time fucking fucking jinx podcast, but I do think the Colts are going to win the division, man.
Okay,
Oh,
no,
man, like,
Colin.
they're like, the Colts are fun, and they lost their fucking quarterback at the beginning of the season, and they're fucking fun.
Have not had JT for most of the season. Lost Michael Pittman and Zach Moss.
It's just impressive, and honestly, shout out Shane Steichen. I wish the Saints were a serious fucking franchise and hired you in the offseason, because he has the Colts right. The Colts were fucking terrible last season.
Joke,
and like
laughing stock.
Besides the fucking draft, they didn't improve too much. But yeah, I think so. Chiefs 2, Dolphins 3, Colts 4. I think the Jags will probably have the 5th or 6th or 7th seed, depending on how it goes down the stretch. But I do genuinely believe that 3 AFC South teams will make the playoffs.
So who does that knock out?
I think it knocks out the Browns, and I think the Bills slide in. So I think the playoff teams from the AFC: Ravens, Dolphins, Chiefs, Jaguars, Colts, Texans, Bills. I think Ravens 1, Chiefs 2, Dolphins 3, Colts 4. I'll say Bills 5, Jags 6, Colts 7.
Texans 7.
Sorry. But that is just, off the dome. Before we get out of here, you got anything else?
No, man, it's gonna be a fun game, or a fun 3 games, I should say. You mentioned you're going to a potential playoff game coming up soon. So, hey, good luck to you. Good luck to the Saints. I'd love to see them kind of do maybe kind of reverse history. They can get in at with 7 wins and go on somewhat of a run, just like the Seahawks did to the Saints all those years back.
Oh my God, that was insane.
Man, I feel like I've been saying this every time we talk, but it's going to get fun towards the end of the year.
Completely agree.
And I'm going to be stressed as hell.
Oh, don't worry. You and me both. Again, I have said this since week 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, but for the Saints, the season is going to come down to that last game against Atlanta. And it's going to be a win and you're in game, and that's just how it's going to be.
The fact that Desmond Ridder is going to have a say in that kind of winning in game, dude, it's such a joke. But hey, that's where we're at this year.
Facts. Anyway, thank you, AJ, for joining me on this Sunday night. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Make sure you are subscribed on Apple, on Spotify, on YouTube, on Anchor, on Breaker. on so many more. Yeah, make sure you check it out. Yeah, thank you again, AJ. Appreciate you for staying up late and getting this done. Shout out to the Colts. Shout out to the Saints.
Shout out.
Shout out. Shout out. Anyway, thank you all for listening again. Hope you're having a good one. Enjoy the week. Yeah, peace out, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.